So, picking up where we finished in the previous video, I'm going to show you how to use the self-nomination feature. The self-nomination feature is really helpful because it removes the need to use something like Google Forms or Microsoft Forms to gather the nominations of the people who want to stand in your election. It allows them to fill out all of the information themselves, and once you approve them, it will put them on the ballot and create a page which is publicly viewable to all of your voters during that election. In order to do that, go to your election. In this case, we've already created one, and scroll down to where it says self-nominations and ballots and self-nomination and candidate editor. This is also the place where you edit candidates which you have already uploaded. As you can see, there's a few different options. You can, by default, it's configured to allow candidate photos, but if you want to remove candidate photos from the ballot, you can just tick that off and people won't be able to upload them. When that's ticked on, it will allow, and the same thing goes for YouTube URLs. So if, for example, your candidates want to upload a short personal statement, you can tick that and they just upload it to YouTube, and then they can paste the link of their video and it will load that directly on their candidate page. We'll tick that to show you what it looks like. In order for people to be able to nominate themselves, you have to open nominations for each of the ballots, or for each of the positions rather. So I'm going to tick the ones that I want to open. Some of them might be something like a motion where you've got a yes/no question. So you might not necessarily want people to be able to create a candidacy there. You can also require proposers. So if you require proposers, you can set any number between 1 and whatever you like. And you can also require proposer emails. This might be helpful if your organization has a rule that in order to stand for a position, you need other members to propose that nomination or propose and second it. Once you're happy with what you are going to allow your candidates to do, or your prospective candidates rather, and what you want them to upload and the process for it, just copy the URL, and this will be a public URL, so you can disseminate it on a mailing list, a WhatsApp group, a QR code during an in-person event, anything that you like. If we just paste this into a new tab, we will then get the form for nominating ourselves. Candidates can, or prospective candidates rather, can select a ballot. They will be able to see other ballots that are on the election, but if they are closed, then they won't obviously be able to nominate themselves. And then they'll then be able to pick which one they want to stand for. So let's pick one here. And then I'll be able to fill in all of the information, such as name, the email address, which will be used to send out an approval or rejection email, a short bio. There's no current word limit, but you can enforce that word limit by, for example, putting it in your instructions to prospective candidates. And if it goes over the limit, you can edit it yourself later. You can also upload a photo, which should preferably be square, and paste the YouTube video. Once your candidate has finished filling out their information, their name, their email address, a statement, a photo, and if they want to, also a YouTube video and whatever you've permitted in general, you'll then be able to click Submit Nomination, and this will make it available for the manager of the election to click Accept or Reject. The candidate can also view the page that they have submitted and the status of it. They can see a preview of what this will look like later. After finishing with the self-nominations process, you can then take a look at which candidates have submitted their nomination. You'll see it in the pending area, and you'll be able to see things like the candidate name, the position that they're standing for, whether they submitted an email, and a brief summary of their statement. It'll get cut off, but you can view the full statement. It'll also show you anything else that you required them to add or gave them the option of adding, such as the YouTube video or their proposers. If you want to view the full submission, you can either click on View Submission, which will take you to the preview page. This will show you what it will look like once approved. And you can also click on Edit Statement. So for example, if they made a mistake or they went over the word limit that you asked them for, you can delete part of their statement, you can change it, you can also replace the photo. Anything in here can be edited as you like, and then click Save. It's also at this point that you can approve or reject. So if we approve them, just click Approve. They'll go straight onto the ballot, and all of the information that they've made available will appear once voting opens on the election information page. However, if you reject them for whatever reason, you can write a short message of why that was rejected. Let's say, for example, they are not eligible and then give a reason. Confirm the rejection, and this will then be shown to them on the email that gets automatically sent out. However, let's assume that you approve all of your candidates and that you don't need to make any changes. You can see all of the different positions in one location. So this is a different position, but I'm also approving the candidates from the same location. Again, I'll just go through these quickly. Once I've then approved all of these, I'll reject one last one just so that you can see what it looks like. And once I've confirmed that rejection, I'll see that there's no more candidates pending. I'll see my rejected candidates over here and the reason why they were rejected. And I can also see the approved candidates. Now, the approved candidates are neatly grouped by the ballot that they are standing on. If you go into the ballots, you will see both the candidates which you've approved. These are the people who self-nominated and you then clicked yes. You can still edit their statement. So up until the election opens, you can still make changes to their candidacy. But for the ones that you added already, you can also edit the statements. So this is, again, not just the self-nomination, but also the candidate editor. So this is where, for example, you could add a description. Let's say that you added this person because you collected the nominations in a different way, and you want to add the information that you've collected. You could then type in the information about them, paste in any information that they've submitted to you, which they wanted to be included in their statement, and upload a photo or paste a YouTube video, which I've got a few ready here. If you've already gathered all of the information, it should be fairly simple. There we are. And as you can see, if you've already got all of the stuff available and you've collected it somewhere else, it's a fairly easy way to put all of this in. Once the candidates have been approved, and they will be approved by default if you were the one who added them, you'll see that the candidate status shows as approved. This is also what the candidate will see on the email that they receive. If it was rejected, the rejected reason will show below this box. There's not much more to it. You can also see the final layout of each of the ballots here. So we'll show you things like the seats and who's standing, just as a sort of summarized overview that you can take a screenshot of and send to someone else. And that's nominations for you. There's not really much more to it. I think the biggest advantage of this is probably that you don't need to use Google Forms or Microsoft Forms. And I will show you in a later video after you open voting what it looks like and how voters can actually navigate through all of this information. But safe to say, all of that information, again, as I've said before, will be available to voters.